So Jojo has just released a new Guilty Pleasure EP and the backlash has been immense. She's been cut to oblivion, legitimately been swatted, and she's acting like she's totally lost her head. Her identity crisis is seeming to get more desperate and it's embarrassing to see. So let's have a look at exactly why Jojo Siwa just got exposed. So hello everyone, welcome back, I'm Jake Baz, and well, the former Dance Mum star, she's had a bit of a rough week. She thought that this new rebrand and revamp was going to go swimmingly, but it's not. I'm sure you know Jojo. She is the controversial dancer and singer that's had the YouTube community on strings for years during her rise and her fall. This year we started to see cracks emerge with her totally changing her appearance and trying to bring out this fresh brand image, trying to revitalize herself into something totally new and different when realistically she's just put a load of sparkles on and just pretended that she's new. She really thought that it was a slay, and bless her, it wasn't. Her EP released this week and it has gone down terribly. It's gone down like a lead balloon. Everyone is just not very happy with it because it considers the exact same problems. It all sounds quite generic. It is literally majoritively written by other people and it's really not this new brilliant idea that she expected it to be. And in the aftermath of this, we've had weird statements, quite a bit of delusion from her, and also being swatted a mere couple of days after the release, which I can't believe. We got so much to cover, so if you enjoy the video, please do hit the like and sub. I would love to see you back and it helps out the channel a lot. So first off, yeah, her release sank and stunk it up. Like, it literally went deeper than that certain submarine that everyone was talking about last year. And not only that, it went to the point of being the most disliked YouTube video this year. Because as you can see here, according to this Yahoo article, there was at the point 3.1 million dislikes on this video, managing to beat out the likes of Katy Perry and Ariana Grande, which kind of is a feat in itself. And of course, she responds to this in literally the most obnoxious way possible.
So a list just got released of the most disliked music video by a female artist on YouTube in 2024. Here we go. Fourth place, we have Yes And by Ariana Grande with 290,000 dislikes.
It's already starting to jar me off. Also, just look at the background. She's got a full-size cardboard cutout of herself in this terrible star costume that she's got. You might not want to be spending so frugally considering how well your album's done, Jojo.
And your number one first place overall goes to Karma by Jojo Siwa with an astonishing, record-breaking 3.1 million dislikes.
The problem here is she's trying to act like she doesn't care and that this is just some massive thing. That's why she's smiling. That's why she's pretending that, oh, million dislikes, like emphasis, it's embarrassing. But it's very obvious to me, Jojo, that you definitely do want everyone to know about your character. We've gone through this. You definitely want everyone to see you as who you want to be seen as. Explain her outfits, her costumes, like all the specific little details when realistically you just look like a bit of a loser that's just gone off the edge. But go on, do your victory lap.
You know, I am the only person that can say I beat Taylor Swift on a list of something. I'll take it.
Yeah, because you're definitely not beating Taylor Swift on any other list. Hopefully one day you'll get to the point of beating Taylor Swift in the charts, but it's a long way coming. Long way coming. And it definitely will be very annoying to her, the fact that, well, she's got this 3.1 million dislikes. Oh, we're now on 3.2. Going up in the world, I'm glad. But when you reference that 3.2 million against the 3.3 million of Guilty Pleasure, that's how many views she got on this music video. She's genuinely nearly beaten the dislike count on one of her most infamous new Look At Me, I'm Different songs. And now on another song on the same EP, she can barely get the same amount in views. She's also, if nobody's noticed, actually deleted every old video from her channel, so it's just got this new stuff of her rebrand and how she looks now. She's clearly obsessed with it. She's obsessed with how she perceives herself and how other people stare at her, but it fully does show the fall off. The fact that the Karma video got 45 million views because everyone was looking at her and was like, why is she doing this? And then she's just constantly gone down these circles of just being a little bit more weird, being a little bit more weird. And I bet she thought all publicity is good publicity, but as you can see, this is not the case, as going from 45 million views to just 84k on one of her songs is actually crazy. And this potential backlash does seem to have hit her a little bit, because she has been going off on social media and she's been saying some very weird things and going off at the haters, because she loves to do that. She loves to absolutely annihilate the haters. One example's here about her writing credits.
Actually, guess who has a writer credit on Guilty Pleasure? Me. I do. You do.
Genuinely, to even flex about this kind of thing, like literally flex and be like, I do. Oh, you wrote your own song, well done. Whilst you're also in a sea there, as you can see, of what is that, 7 or 8 different people who wrote the song. It's actually embarrassing, and it does make me think, once again, like, I do think that she's doing this for attention bait. She's doing it so people will go and look at her stuff, but it's having the opposite effect at this point. The lowest amount of writers that I managed to find on her brand new EP is just 5. And would you believe me if I told you that the main writer here being Jojo Siwa, this is by far her least popular song, which really does show the level of writing that she is currently at. And when you've got bars like "Last night I had a dream, or was it having me?" which obviously had to be annotated with someone saying, in that lyric, Jojo is saying that she is like a dream because her dream was having Jojo. Absolutely brilliant bars there. It's just obvious that she's not there yet, and that's fine. A lot of people are not going to be there yet in their first solo endeavor to this type of stuff. Well, solo. She's got about 20 people working behind her. But it's the deepness that she thinks that she portrays. She thinks she brings out this brand new set of people and ideas and concepts to the fore, and it's not the case. It's just some shitty pop song, and the fact that she'll defend it to the hills instead of actually owning up to, oh yeah, these certain bits might not be brilliant, it's a bit sad. I mean, she's got a lot to learn. But the statements that she's been saying have not only been like really defensive, they've also been very, very weird. Because in this Cosmopolitan interview that she did upcoming to the album, which by the way is titled "Jojo Siwa Wants to Take Gypsy Rose Blanchard to Disneyland." Don't ask me about that one. If you don't remember Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she did some very naughty stuff. It's not like we don't know that she hangs around with cretins like James Charles. But in this, she's coming out with statements like this.
This is a fun story. No one's ever heard this one before. Because I'm gay as shit and I have to plan a pregnancy much different than a straight person, I actually want to take 3 eggs, fertilize 3 eggs, and have 3 surrogates. So technically they'll all be the same batch, but they would all be born separately. I'm gonna have my surrogates, my babies. Then maybe little birthdays will land on different days and they can be like triplets, but like not.
I beg your pardon? So she wants triplets, but she wants triplets from 3 different people. That's not how triplets work. I'm almost certain, but I'm not sure because I am a man, that triplets have to be from the same mother. Let's just ignore the fact that she thinks that she's unique and special because she has to get IVF because she doesn't swing that way. Can straight people have IVF, Jojo? I don't know. Can they? Of course they can, and fucking hell, it's embarrassing. I wish that she had something in her that made her realize that she's not this unique, special person that she thinks she is. Just because she's grown up into this very high lifestyle since she was a child, and she thinks that she's the dog's bollocks despite all of the things going around her telling her that she's not. She just needs to see the light. She needs to see that a lot of people are like her. Maybe not as bad as her in the embarrassing nature. Maybe they might not have 500 million to create an album that is tripe, that just sinks like lead. But she's not this special person. She needs to grow up and she needs to get past it. We'll get onto this interview later. We'll cover a bit more in it, but that bit just makes me piss. Different by any means. But following the release, she was also having a go at other people for clapping back on her album.
I am so f***ing happy to get this comment because this is my goal. I know that this person was trying to throw shade, trying to be a bit of an ass, but the thing is, I don't want everything to sound the same. I have a voice that has a lot of different unique tones. I can get super breathy, I can get super raspy, I can be super energetic, I can be super calm, I can be super loud. Believe it or not, I can also be super quiet.
She's just saying words at this point, isn't she? Does she not see, though, that the idea of doing this in totally different voices, like, destroys the theme of an album? I'm no album expert, but I feel that's a little washed.
But the thing is that's what I want to show in my music. I don't want everything to sound the same. That'd be so boring. Imagine watching a concert where everything sounded the same. So boring. Absolutely not. Never. I'll always provide entertainment, and lucky that my voice can do that as well.
Well, she's giving me entertainment, but in a bit of a different manner than what she wants. But once again, she's trying to be unique. She's trying to bring herself out as this new person that can create anything and anything anywhere. And like, so what? You could do multiple voices. Like, a lot of people, what they do is they do their multiple ranges on one song. What she's trying to do is she's trying to pick at everything so she can try and achieve everything. And that's not how it works, Jojo. But obviously, she's not done with this one comment.
Okay, so here's the tea. If I was to sing this part of Guilty Pleasure, in the same tone of voice that I sing this part of Guilty Pleasure, I know what drives you crazy. Wish I could be your baby. And won't you stop that is the point of a song.
Is it just me, or is she totally missing the point of the comment?
Oh, it is a work of art. I don't want my voice to always sound the same. I always want to manipulate my voice. I know what drives you crazy. That was a very important thing for me. And there's multiple passages in there. I know what drives. You got to get all of those in there to make it sound like. Thank you for recognizing this one.
The end as well. Oh, thank you for recognizing. Realize that I've done this intentionally because I'm this new person. I'm at the point where is it rage baiting? Is this point actually trying to like get people angry about it because she's just totally missing the point? Like, the thing says every single song sounds different, and she's showing 2 sections within a song that sound different. Like, that is the point of music, Jojo. It's this big scheme that she's doing, this big amazing scheme, and it's just sad. She does just have main character syndrome. I really do believe it. She will go around on these circles. Look at me, I'm in the center stage. Everyone's gassing her up. Everyone's so happy for her, and it just feeds her ego further. The amount of money that I would pay to not be at this release, I would pay a lot. To me, after seeing this for so long, it really starts to get unbearable. That clip is from the album release party that she did, and I mean, she did a full YouTube video for it. Need to remember the memories, you know, which then led to this. That dance will never get old because it is just so obnoxious and so annoying. Also, I don't know what Tana Mongeau's doing there. I don't know why she's there. Maybe she missed the memo with the kind of people that Jojo Siwa hangs around with, considering the fact of Tana Mongeau and Cody Ko situation that's currently going on. I heard James Charles might have a thing or two in the locker that is quite similar to that. But it's true that Jojo is starting to become this figure who is so obsessed with herself, she is essentially creating another spawn of herself. And it's to the point where I genuinely think if she could get in bed with herself, she would do it in a heartbeat. And one of the biggest examples is this odd flexing here on a TikTok a couple of days ago.
So typically when I'm done with a costume, I'll do something like this with it. This is the costume from Boomerang when I was a kid, and now it's all framed and nice. However, this is what is happening with the Guilty Pleasure costume for the music video. We got the real costume on a cardboard cutout of me from Karma.
Like, genuinely, how obsessed do you have to be of yourself that you would decide to do something like this? I get the record, I get the original outfit, I don't get that. I think it might be one of them things where she's just trying to present herself and look at me, I'm so new now, this is one of my favourite outfits ever, when genuinely, I've seen better outfits on AliExpress, and I mean, outfits low-key eating, I don't have a clue what it's eating. Potentially it's eating arse because it is just pure shit. But that's the problem for her. The album has flopped. It hasn't done exactly how she expected to. Her largest single was her first one because it was the Look at Me. And since then, all we've managed to get from her is the exact same thing over and over again, but in different voices. Music is an acquired taste. If you enjoy different types of music, go have a listen to it, see how it fits. But to me, lazy songwriting, it's despite the fact that there's about 20 people that are writing them, they're clearly set up to all kind of be like chart singles, and it really is, it's not what you want, is it? And I just find it absolutely hilarious that Jojo Siwa will try and paint this in a picture of this is brand new. This is a new genre. This is gay pop. Well, it's shite. It's just shite. She's trying to be Charlie XCX, but she's coming out like Macklemore. It's daft. And I feel Jojo Siwa has moved so far along with this certain persona that she even, in this article where she talks about getting swatted, tries to humble brag, which at this point I've only got to kind of respect. As E! News reported, Jojo Siwa reveals that her home was swatted again, but it's apparently all because of her fame. It's interesting, okay, I guess we'll get really right into it. I got swatted 2 nights ago. I haven't told anybody about this yet, but basically they showed up to my house and there were 4 police cars outside. Obviously, terrible thing. Nobody should be doing anything like that to anyone on the internet, but obviously Jojo Siwa has to rub it in somewhat about how famous she is. The police asked me, why do you not have security with you at this moment? And I was like, because I haven't needed it yet. But now I really need it every day with me. So it definitely changed in the last month, 2 months, 3 months. I guess since Karma came out, it's been fun to say the least. Nothing more fun than getting swatted because you're so famous. It's just so weird, the humble brag, considering the fact of how bad the EP has actually turned out to go. But also that she thinks because of how Karma has reacted with 45 million views, like we said, that is the reason why. Yeah, potentially that's a contributing factor towards not only her fame, but like the current situation that she's in, getting swatted. But that's not it, is it? Because if you look back, Boomerang's on 6 billion streams. Never needed it when I was a kid, when I getting billions of streams, but now I'm an adult and I've had this one song that's gone famous and now need it all the time. Don't dox people, you're a prick if you do it, but why? Why has she done this? But it only goes further on to humble brag. I think for a very long time, I've been in the industry since I was 9. I really have been a lot of people's guilty pleasures for different reasons. Jesus Christ, she did a pun. Not only has she got singing handled down, she's also got comedy. Especially now with Karma, the dance and the makeup and everyone saying you're a weirdo, you're a freak. Going back into that thing that, oh, well, I love the attention because any attention is good attention. And it's not, is it? It's not, is it, Jojo? Because we've seen how it's ended up. I don't think she's a weirdo, and I don't think she's even a freak. I think she's just someone who is lost in her own headspace because she was so famous when she was younger, and she's seen that waning over the years as she's gotten older, so she's trying to make controversy at any corner that she can. I think right now there is a massive feeling from the world that we know exactly who Jojo Siwa is. No, you don't. Feel like she's made this up in her head because, I mean, I don't know. I could take presumptions. I don't have a clue what's going on up there. You know exactly what I want to show you. You know my career, essentially, but you don't know how I'm getting there. You don't know what it's taking me to get there. You don't see my makeup looks, me at 7 AM making them. What's that got to do with it? There's so much that goes into this. I just find it weird that she's gone on this sort of like thing about, oh, people don't know who I am, all the people are haters, when it is literally a comment about a situation that happened a couple of days ago when she got swatted. Why in an interview about being swatted are you talking about, oh, people don't see my makeup look at 7 in the morning? What the fuck does that have to do with it, Jojo? She's just worried that she's stuck in this box and she can't get out because she ended up being so famous when she was so young. You see a lot of young stars go through this phase where they try and break out and try and turn into a different person. And obviously, like we said last time, the most obvious case of this is Miley Cyrus, who I think that JoJo's trying to emulate, but she's doing it in a way which is so not only forced, but cringe and really over the top. And Miley wasn't going on all the time about, I just hate the haters. Like, she was never doing that. JoJo's just in an identity crisis at the moment, and that's fine, but she refuses to admit it at every single turn. And all she does now is just try and create controversy and make herself look different. And it's funny because you think back to when you were like 17, 18, you think of the rebellious stage that you had in your life, and it seems exactly like JoJo's. You just didn't have 500 million quadrillion pounds to execute it. But she really does like to live and talk about her life because she loves talking about herself because she's so brilliant and perfect. And remember, she ain't by any means normal, but this is her kind of normal.
Every day. Every single day.
Right, so get this right. Your idea of normal is one of your friends shouting at you as they go past your house in a car. Meanwhile, you've just gotten out of your Lamborghini Urus, which includes a full wrap of just your face on it. It's just, look at me, I'm so quirky, I'm so different type of vibes, isn't it? It really is. Especially when she's captioned it, a normal day. This is one of my normal days. It's anything but. I live such a crazy life. You guys just don't understand. And we might not understand the kind of depths that you will go to with your work, Jojo, but we can very much understand that you are being a bit of a prick about it. Some people are doing 14-hour days in surgery, and then you're doing these shitty little songs on the internet, and you think that you're especially perfect. She even is making us some guilty pleasure bracelets as part of the promo of the new album that's going on. This is so fun. I've just seen this. What the fuck's that? Oh my god. If there's one thing she's got, it's dance moves. Jesus. Just peep as well on her walls. There's full books just of all her faces. You can't see this at the top, but there's a load of her dolls that are her. You've got the guilty pleasure sort of shit going on everywhere. It's just so up your own ass. Look, she's even got the guilty pleasure doll. She's got a literal figurine of herself there for this music video. This is too much. I feel just everything that she does is to just bring out this idea that she is just different, and you guys don't get it. And it really is obnoxious. It really is. I'm better than you, and I find it just embarrassing. It is a big expose on her character, because this is Jojo Siwa now. This is what she is. I also found this, and I don't know why this is here. Why is she wearing a bike helmet on her head? You can tell 100% she's definitely not biking anywhere. Just part of the quirky PR life stunt that I live. Also, just peep one of them tattoos down at the bottom here. They are definitely disintegrating, so they must have been washables, despite the fact that she's had 47 different tattoos for 47 meanings. And with this release, she is just getting cooked by everyone. I mean, I saw this comment a couple of days ago that made me crease, that was like, she looks like she grew from a Logan Paul, Jake Paul seed that was watered with Red Bull. I really think that's quite true. She does look like that, and if there's one thing that she does have, it's energy girl. Another situation that I found recently about her was how somewhat obnoxious she can be, because I saw this clip. She was on RuPaul Drag Race, and when she was on, she said that she was one of the biggest fans of the show. She's been watching it for years. She loves it. And then she did an interview with someone on a sofa a couple of weeks ago, and she just bottles it, because it turns out, despite her showing up on the show and saying she's a massive fan, she actually doesn't know anyone on it.
Carson Kressley or Ross Matthews? Do you know who they are? You don't watch Drag Race? Oh, you were just on the show.
No! Which one should I say? Ross Matthews for sure.
For those who don't know Ross Matthews as well, it's someone who is not very much liked by the fandom on RuPaul, so she got double stitched up. And to be honest, I don't know why you just lie saying, oh, it's my favourite show ever. I know you're trying to gas up the fact because you're wearing all rainbow, this, that, the other. You're trying to emulate that sort of vibe in a sense. But mainly too, why wouldn't she just spend 20 minutes looking at stuff, trying to find out who the people are on the show before you go out and say that you're the favourite fan? I don't get it at all. She tried to make it into a big PR stunt and it just flopped, but there's quite a few things that have flopped, like her music. As she says, she's someone who wants to create gay pop. She's created this new genre of music. Definitely. So obviously she's going to want to go on and gas everything up and try and make it out like she is part of, I'm part of them, you know what I mean? Sort of thing. I'm in your crowd. But obviously getting diddled like this in an interview just shows how one, insincere you are, and two, that you need to stop with the act. One of the things that I also found a little bit weird with Jojo Siwa around every situation that she was doing is whenever she would come out about the haters and, I'm blacking out the haters, she'd do that all the time. It would always be to specific stuff whilst also ignoring actually the most popular or funniest parts of the things that she is getting ripped into about. And what she usually does if she finds a lot of people taking the piss out of her is she'll find the most sensitive one to her. The most palatable, the one that she thinks that she can get away with, and she tries to laugh it off. Which is great and all, just taking the piss, having a laugh with it, which you really need to take in these scenarios, but I don't think she does it very sincerely herself. Because I've seen hundreds of instances of people mocking the way that she was speaking, the way that she was acting in certain ways, and nobody has responded from her team. But she has managed to get the more sensitive versions. She's done it a couple of times. I just find it weird. Almost like you are actually pissed off at the stuff that's being sent, despite saying that you're not. Best one I remember is this one.
So, who's the dream guest on your podcast? Dream guest on my podcast? I don't know. Let's spice it up a little bit. What am I exist?
Dream guest on my podcast? But there's loads of instances of that stuff, and she's not responding to anything like that. It's always just like that, oh, look at me, I'm doing a little bit of a weird dance, which is intentional. I just find her character, once again, insincere at these points. But yeah, she does have a podcast now. Everyone rejoice. Everyone should go right now, click off the video, click off this one, hit a like before you go, but run off and go and watch this podcast, because it's brilliant. It's going about as successful as her music, and her last one, she even did one by herself, which, who does a podcast by yourself? That's called 40 minutes of fucking rambling. But this sort of stuff is apparently promotion.
Let's dive in to the 5 times I couldn't stop crying. First one I'm going to talk about is actually when I was on my very first TV show, and this was my first experience with hate and online bullying and how foul this world is. If you don't know, AUDC, Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, is the first show that I was on.
I'm not sure what the set is about this, because it's very, very, very childish, and she has grown past that now, apparently. What changed? What happened? Why are you reverting back to that kind of style and aesthetic? I don't understand. Also, just peep the actual brass neck of her to have have a t-shirt of herself, literally. Oh my. What a brand image to have. Just be your face. It's just so obnoxious.
Do you want to go home next week? Every single comment was JoJo, and I broke down. So I come down the stairs, I was like, whoa, and she's like, oh my God, what happened? Like, are you okay? Look at Abby's post. And she was like, they're saying your name. They're not saying anyone else's name. They know you and they know your name. That was the start of me being people's guilty pleasure. No pun intended.
She's really trying to make this guilty pleasure thing a catchphrase, didn't she? And it's not really going down well. But I presume this is where she's getting this idea of any sort of traction is good traction, whether it's good or bad, because everyone's still saying your name. And that's right, Jojo, because I still am saying your name, but look at your album sales. She got into the top 100 for singles in the UK once, and her album, as of now, is nowhere to be seen in the charts, but I mean, it's only just been a week, so there's still plenty of time. But really, I don't want to will that into existence, do I? This new Rebrand has exposed her to be a fake, in a sense. Like, all of this perception of herself is just wrong, and people see right through it. People see that she's created this entire new personality about herself, and they don't like it. And I think that's very simple to look at. If I've been watching someone for years on YouTube, and then suddenly within a couple of weeks they manage to totally change the entire way they act, with their mannerisms, with their dancing, with their costumes, with everything that they do as a person, why would I have any similarities to want to keep watching that, you know? I think Jojo Siwa just thinks that she's that big and that important that she can do whatever she wants, and everyone will just follow and get on with it, and we'll end up watching her anyway because she's this new guilty pleasure, isn't she? She's on about guilty pleasure, I'm on about innocent regret. And this lack of notoriety and annoyance to her must actually affect her to the point where, like I've shown you, she's been going off at people. And I've got another instance here, because a TikToker called Kales tried to break down the perception of what people think of JoJo, and she responded, but I'll have to show you this first.
And it finally hit me what the fundamental flaw is in her Bad Girl Rebrand. It's not that it's too chaotic or too out there. Like, there's a fan for everything. It's the timing. The reason it's not going to be bangers is because we didn't grow up with Jojo Siwa. By the time Miley turned 18, 19 and wanted to throw Hannah Montana out the window and be bangers, like, most of us were nearing high school. We were ready too. Jojo Siwa's audience was never just 5 years younger than her. Like, when she was 16, actually when she was 18, her audience was still like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds.
And it genuinely is such a good point. The people that were following Jojo Siwa at the time when she was doing this, and she was doing this up until a couple of months ago, remember, they are very young people, because it's a little bit of a middle stage. Like, she's not going to be appealing to young teenagers. She is a young teenager herself up until recently in all of these sort of situations. She makes stuff for kids, and when you go from kids to adult, there's a middle part called teenage that she's just totally skipped in the way that she does stuff. The majority of her fans will have grasped onto her when they were 5 or 6 themselves about 7 or 8 years ago, and they're still just about 12, 13. There's still a big experiential gap there, and I don't think that Jojo realizes this, and, well, the album was predicted to flop in her opinion, and it did. It f***ing did. And like I said, Jojo responding to this, and how do you think she did it?
And it finally hit me what the fundamental flaw is in her Bad Girl Rebrand.
Like, what Kales was covering wasn't necessarily a negative thing. It was more so trying to understand the marketing around the entire situation. So for Jojo to just be like, oh, I'm your guilty pleasure, you're just hating on me. You're just hating on me while I'm doing my thing. It's just so embarrassing. And you know what? I think that Jojo is a little bit narcissistic in her tendencies with the way that she acts around these situations. Everything's about me. Literally everything's about me. Even in the response to this, it's I'm your guilty pleasure, right? There's a lot of I being used. Maybe people just like talking about drama and you are just feeding it to them. And you think that this is a good marketing scheme when in reality, it's not turned out well, has it? And call me a hater, but I think she's just gooning out a little bit. And this persona of all about me, I'm the center of attention, this is all about me, is perfectly explained in her tattoo situation, which she explains here, because not only is she bragging about this situation, every single tattoo's about her. And I wonder if the clothes she's wearing are too.
Since we're getting so close to the release of Guilty Pleasure, I figured now would be a good time to explain this tattoo that I got. So long story short, the Guilty Pleasure music video has these 4 different worlds, right? It has soul art, teddy bear, construction, and of course church. I pulled the costume so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So we got the teddy bear costume, right? And so therefore, that's what the teddy bear on this tattoo represents.
I'm glad she brought that one down for me because I was genuinely struggling to understand where the link between the teddy bear and the teddy bear would be.
On my 21st birthday is I wore this construction vest, and this became a massive thing that people talked about, which some may call a guilty pleasure. That is why there is the construction world in the music video, and that's...
It's ironic, isn't it, that she's wearing a construction vest, but she couldn't even build her own brand. It's all PR. My guilty pleasure is an unfortunate hate watch on Jojo Siwa right now.
Next, the teddy bear's got some goggles on. These are the goggles it's inspired by. They're goggles I wear in the Zoltar-inspired booth, the ticket booth. Last, but certainly not least... Oh god. The Angel of Darkness wings. These wings are a hot mess. Okay, we're just gonna... So basically this massive tattoo that I got is completely inspired by my new music video, Guilty Pleasure. Anyways, that's the meaning behind this tattoo.
Don't know if you noticed as well, but every single tattoo that she had previously has now disappeared, so... that was all a PR stunt as well. Who'd have guessed? It's almost like everything she does is for attention. I could have thought of that before I did this. Oh well, we're too deep now. It's just so forced. It's so forced, and it's so up my own arse. Like, it is embarrassing the levels that you have to get to be like this. But you also could argue, obviously, that it is a product of an environment. So she has grown up within this sphere where she's always been told that she's perfect. She's been the star of a show since she was 13. She's been doing all these things that have given her millions of pounds, I'm sure. Well, maybe a mum. And now she's trying to break out of this cycle and be independent. And you see it a lot in Hollywood. And she's not really in Hollywood, but with the people she hangs around with, James Charles, she might as well be. But it doesn't excuse the behaviour, and it doesn't make her sound any less insufferable than what she does now, I promise you. I also thought we'd go back to that interview that was promoting the album by talking about Gypsy Road Blanchard, because apparently we want to take her to Disneyland. I'm not sure why. And I won't lie, and I'm sorry to say it, you Americans, but it sounds a little bit Floridian.
When Gypsy Rose Blanchard got released from prison in December, the first thing she posted to Instagram was a selfie in her hotel room. If you were fresh out the slammer, what would your first post be? My first post would be my mugshot.
If she wanted to do music, would you ever collide?
No, but I would take her to Disneyland.
I wonder how fresh a Jojo Siwa mugshot would look. I think that could go pretty hard. You never know if James Charles teaches the ways. Not sure where I'm going with this one.
If I could take Gypsy's Disney virginity, that would be the most me thing ever. Oh, I would love that.
We need a line to Gypsy Rose.
Karma's a bitch featuring Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Okay, maybe I would do something with her musically because that's funny.
Why? Just why? Take her to Disney. Go on, throw you both on the bus and hopefully you stay there for quite a while. And genuinely, I've been thinking about what to say about that. I just find it so weird considering what Gypsy Road Blanchard is. It's just what? I think I need a bit of a sit down.
You got in a relationship with someone more famous than you and they ask you to sign an NDA. What do? Sign it. Easy. 100%. Wouldn't even question it. Honestly, I need to be better about having people sign NDAs.
It's the... Like, God, I need to be doing that because I'm so famous, aren't I, myself? Jesus. Everything she's doing at the moment just seems really forced and also really, like, trying to be different, trying to be this new person, trying to be Miss Jojo Siwa V2. And I think the Rolling Stones did a very good idea of what Jojo Siwa is like by saying Jojo Siwa's Guilty Pleasure EP isn't a rebrand, it's an identity crisis. She has been wanting clearly to break out of this child-friendly star sort of icon for quite a while now, and she's decided to do it now, and she's done it in a way where it's clearly very orchestrated, it's clearly very big on PR, and it's meant to be massive, and this next new big thing by creating this new genre in gay pop. But she's failed to do that, and she's not only failed to do that, she's failed to chart, and she's failed to actually end up doing anything massive with it, which is what she expected it to be. I think that she thought that she is so big that there is no way that this is going to fail. Unfortunately, what Jojo fails to see herself is that karma is a and she should have known better because it has ended up coming out in her face a little bit. All this hating around all the haters is just, it's thrown it in her face. She can't be arsed now. It's this idea of not only breaking out of the shell, but also being completely different and being this new thing. But unfortunately, what she's managed to do is just emulate Miley Cyrus very terribly. I don't think she really knows what she wants to be exactly. She knows that she wants to get somewhere with her music, but she doesn't know where to go for it. That's why she's got 74 different people writing for her. She's got 10 people producing for her. She's doing these massive sold out stages where she's dressing up very extravagantly in a way to be like, look, this is different. This is the new me. And I think this comes from self-obsession. I think she does just genuinely love herself that much. She just thinks everything's going to work. She will throw shit a wall and it'll all stick. What she forgets to think about is the fans that she has alienated during this situation by totally changing up the way that she is, and also the people that she's put off her by being this person who is so overly negative and jokey about the ways that everyone is. It's a very self-absorbing attitude, and it really is quite embarrassing. Looking at it, it quite is embarrassing. I hope the best for Jojo, but I really think that she just needs to rework it a little bit because she has been exposed this time for this person that she thinks that she is not actually it. But I'm sure if she just created a new personality 30 seconds ago, she'll very easily create a new one again. But what do you lot think? Please do let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like and sub. I would love to see you back. It helps out the channel a lot. I've been Jake Baz, and I will see you all later. Take care.